te marawiya na yishu su turiyama ega kamara en yanna turiya paraki ite yawatareya yamarti yaturi shisete nanana hikwa umaye tiraki wan yanana hetwa kinmaraya titwaya. Namaste, good morning, welcome, welcome, whenever you may be seeing, be feeling, be interacting. This is a little spontaneous soul flow as we go, and no idea what is to appear. This is where we just press live and see what comes. So many of us are here at this moment to be generational curse breakers, to be generational pattern breakers, to be the ones that are the golden sheep of our families. Golden doesn't mean special, it just means different. To be the ones that are stepping outside of what has been before, making new decisions, making new choices, seeing things in different ways, and disrupting, in some ways, many of the systems, many of the familial systems, many of the genetic bonds, many of the things that have been kind of unbroken for many generations. Many of us are here to be that. And if you are that and you feel resonance with that, it can be quite a challenging responsibility to be the only one in your family that sees something differently, to be the only one in your societal system that sees or feels like there's something more or something, there's a new way of seeing, being, feeling this reality. And it can be quite challenging because the egoic mind loves stability, and life is anything but stability. So the egoic mind, the little me, the me, my, is always trying to keep things the same. It always wants things to just be as they were. It doesn't like change because it sees change as death. It feels that if something that I've depended on, something has been a certain way, I need it to be that way, or else I'm going to die. So it throws up all sorts of resistances. It throws up all sorts of accidents and challenges and arguments and many different things. Ways it believes it's in its position of self survival, surviving of the little self. And so whenever you are compelled by some inner knowing that the systems in your family, the systems of your work, the education systems, the political systems, the social systems, whatever it happens to be, are outdated and are being called. You're being called to a new way of being, a new way of seeing, a new way of feeling. That the egoic structure of the world resists it, and the egoic structure of our little me self will resist it. So, if you are one of these generational curse breakers, one of these, you know, oh wow, a little dragonfly. Come onto the camera. Like it's literally just. I don't think you caught that. Just hovering there. Little dragonfly. Perfect timing. I don't like the word curse. Give me a different word in the comments there. It's a generational pattern breaker. That's better. I don't like that word curse. It's not. It's not really relevant, but it just came there. Um, if you're here as a pattern breaker, you're here. You're the golden sheep of the family. You're the one that sees things differently, feels things differently. Just know that there is parts of our genetic makeup, part of the reptilian brain, part of the fabric of society that has sprung out of this reptilian brain and sprung out of the egoic structure of the little me and the separate. Oh, he's back again. This is actually not a dragonfly this time. It's a small. You want to join or not? Uh, come to the camera here if you like. Um, if you are that, just know that whenever you meet resistance within yourself and within the world, within your family, within the social structure, that resistance is natural. It's natural. You know, the resistance to change, the resistance to new ideas, the the maybe the judgments or the ostracization or the feeling of being alone. It's natural. It's completely natural. Because change in this dimension takes time. It actually, in truth, doesn't take any time. It's already existing. The new version, the new earth, the new you, the new everything is an already existing aspect of reality that we just cannot see yet. Everything is existing simultaneously right here, right now. Everything you can imagine, everything that you have never imagined, and everything that you can't imagine already exists right here where you are, because there's nowhere else other than you here, now here. There's only this. But we have a filter and a lens of reality that reflects to us our current belief systems, our current thought forms, and the collective belief systems and thought forms of the collective of humanity that we share this perspective with. But in truth, you know, it's not in the future when something changes. It's only because we've agreed upon this tool called time. This tool called time allows us to open the book at the first page, see the table of contents or not, and go from page 1 to page 144 and follow the story and have a beginning and a middle and an end. And that's what our lives is. The book of 144 pages already exists in totality, but we choose to read sometimes we'll skip around, but in general we'll choose to read the book from the cover to page 144 sequentially. But as I shared, and an amazing book series, Conversations with God, we are sequentaneous. So it's a combination of things appearing in sequence, but all being there simultaneously. So just like the book is completely existing from page 1 to page 144, but we read it in sequence and we look at one page at a time. That's how our life works. So whenever we meet resistance, when we're going from page 1 to page 10, we're moving into some new way of being, new way of seeing. We're going on our hero's journey, Shiro's journey. We're stepping out of our, what is it they say in that hero's journey? You're stepping out of the normal world into the other world, or you're going out on an adventure. You're going on the search. You see all of the like really successful movies and plays and stories. They follow this kind of arc of the hero's journey where you go out and search, and the hero or Shiro always meets with challenge, and they go through this arc of the story. So challenge is natural. So if you are the golden sheep, if you are the generational pattern breaker, if you are the only one that seems in your environment, in your community, in your family that sees things differently, when you meet challenges, know that there's a natural way in which it's designed to strengthen you, and it's designed by you, for you, through you, and as you. It's just appearing as other people. It's appearing as events. It's appearing as accidents. It's appearing as all the social unrest and challenges and changes in the world. It's we are the author, the director. We are the actors and the actresses. We are them, all of them simultaneously, and we just use these props, and we use the play, and we use the other characters to see parts of ourselves that we cannot see without that reflection and mirror. But every good story, like every good story, there's always challenges. There's always parts and pieces of ourselves that is reflected to us through challenge that wouldn't become known to us otherwise. So whenever we move through and meet challenge in a new way, not like a little poor me, and of course this one, full transparency, sometimes this one falls into the poor little me, and poor me, the poor me story, and why is this to me, and why is it too hard, and I don't want to do it, blah blah blah. It's if we can meet, and we can, because we have before, we just may not do it all the time. If we see whenever we do meet with challenges, whatever they may look like, pain is pain. What triggers you and ticks you off, and pushes your buttons, maybe to someone else like absolutely nothing. that if you feel the pain of a certain trigger strongly in your body and your being, that's a sign that we are in resistance to what is. So we've set up all of these people, props, propositions, places to reveal to ourselves parts of ourselves that we've forgotten about ourselves, and it inevitably comes through challenge. Think of anything that you've ever achieved in your life, anything that you have gone through, anything that you have really enjoyed. It will nearly always come with some form of resistance, some form of, and I mean resistance like a challenge, some form of something that you had to break through. If you think of any dear sisters maybe watching, who have given birth, one of the most beautiful things that you could ever experience or to witness. And but think of the challenge, and think some of the how long that lasts for some people, for some women, and the challenge and the pain, but the gift that comes through. But for anyone, just think of any challenges, anything that you've achieved in your life, anything that really meant something to you. Generally, there may be some exceptions, but I think in the vast majority, it comes with overcoming a fear, overcoming some adversity, moving through something that you were afraid to do, like working at something in sequence, even though it's sequentaneously, um, studying for something, really putting your whole effort into something, really giving your all to something. And again, it's kind of cliche, but it's never about the thing at the end achieving the goal. It's always about the process. So if it's always about the process, that means the challenge, the resistance. And I don't mean mental resistance here. I mean like the way resistance, like resistance training, like lifting weights, or something is holding you in a certain way from getting to where it is that you wish to be, even though you're already there. It always, that's the gold. That's the goal. It's not getting to the goal. Once we get the goal, there's another, or we achieve the thing or experience the thing. It's always about the journey. As cliche as it sounds, it's always about the journey. So the journey is always meet with challenge, overcome challenge, meet next challenge, overcome challenge, meet with challenge, think a different way, see a different way, and face it in a different way, and maybe see that the challenge doesn't exist. Talk about it many times here. Sometimes, if you're willing to face a fear, I'd love to hear in the comments if this is just experience for me, but I have experienced when I'm willing to face some big fears, sometimes I don't have to face them at all. I remember one time when we were doing the New Earth Mystery School in 2019, and we did, myself and my two beloveds, angels, we did this thing inspired by the book The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. Incredible book. If you haven't read it, where have you been and what have you been doing? He has 3 amazing books. But inspired by reading that book, we left one day. We got our passports and we left the house, and we didn't make any decisions. We waited to get a sign as to whether we turned left, as to whether we turned right, as to whether we stopped, as to where we go. We just completely surrendered to the universe to guide us to where we would go. So that ended up taking us to the Canary Islands, and I'm trying to remember the one, Tenerife. So we ended up in Tenerife again without any. We didn't make any decisions. We would get. So that I remember the first sign was like a butterfly just appeared and went left, so we went left or right, whatever it was. But I remember on that journey, we were in the middle of the New York Mystery School at that time, 2019, and I remember I had, I don't know, had, I'm going to say had, a big fear of like singing in public. And we ended up, again, because we weren't making decisions, we ended up staying in places where we would never choose to stay. So we ended up on one of these days staying in this small apartment above a karaoke bar. And it was like people like drunk and singing bad karaoke like they are, but it's fun. But we were above that, and I remember I had the fear. I remember thinking about it. I had the fear of like singing in public. I'm sure I've never done karaoke, but there was a fear of that, and because at that time, of course, it was like guiding many people to face their fears. So I was like, okay, you have to walk the talk. So I think I'd done a live about it, and I said, okay, I'm willing to go face this fear. I'm going to go down on my own, and I'm going to go into this karaoke place and sing karaoke in public, whatever. So it took me a little bit, felt a little fear, and then I go down, and as soon as I get down, the karaoke stops or the door closed or something happened. Whatever happened, I was willing and very open to face the fear, and I feel because of that, then I didn't have to face fear. And I'm not saying it's always, it's just like the willingness to face something without resistance sometimes means that will just disappear. It happened recently again with something else when I was on the embodied masculine experience with Sacred Sons. So the other fear was around physical confrontation. And so the second day was around confrontation, and they do ritual combat. And I thought, my big fear was to, face someone like in a physical thing, and I'd be very afraid about that. And then actually, when I was there, I completely enjoyed it and loved it, and there wasn't a fear of it at all. So again, I was willing to face it, and again, I didn't have to face that fear. Or in that case, the fear that I thought I had turned out to be not the actual fear, because it's not very often that you would get in a physical altercation, especially when we've moved into this new kind of vibration. But it's not common. It's not something you can usually. It kind of would come out of the blue if there was anything. I wonder where that saying "out of the blue" came out of. That'll be for another one. Um, but what happened was I discovered the fear was it was actually fear of myself, fear of what I was capable of, fear of what I wasn't capable of, and fear of my lack of ability to channel my energy if it gets to a point of anger or rage. It was really a fear of self and a fear of what I was capable of or not capable of. It wasn't the physical thing at all. So that was interesting. So yeah, so again, if you are a generational pattern breaker, if you are the golden sheep of the family, and if you're meeting with challenges at this moment, and if you are, it would be nearly impossible to say. And I mean, if you're living and breathing and on Earth in this Earth sit now, you will be meeting with challenges. You will be meeting with things appearing in your life that challenge you. So it's just to get that perspective that really is that cliche that it's about the journey. It's not about getting to the fifth dimension. I'm not even going to go start on that my ascension fun. It's not about getting to a somewhere that you're not. It's not about getting a something that you're not. It's about the process of revealing what you always already are through the mechanism of appearing. I forget who I am. I will go through this process to remember who I am. I forget that I am abundance, and I'm going to go through this process of experiencing I am abundance. I forget that I am one with everyone. I'm going to use this mechanism of all these people and all these humans and all these relationships to recognize myself in each and every one of them before I choose to make the transition that we call death, and not have to wait until we do what we call leave this body to have those near-death experiences of experiencing ourself in every other. If we can begin, and we can, to see ourselves in everyone and everything and everywhere and every how and every now, then we don't have to do the thing that we call that transition that we call death, to see the bigger picture, to see the whole, to see the holiness of the moment that we are, that at every moment is a blessing. Every moment is a miracle. Every breath is a death, that we have the opportunity to see ourselves again, to remember again, to become again who we already are. And so the hero's journey and the shero's journey is always about that call to adventure, and you go out and you meet with challenges, and you come to a point where there's no escape, and then you have to face your demons, face your fears, face the challenge, and then there's always the returning home. And again, you'll see it, this archetypical journey in so many movies, particularly, that whenever they arrive home again, the hero and the shero always realizes that what they were looking for was where they were looking from, and the call to adventure was taking them actually outward from the place that they've been looking for. It was always there, where they were, at home. and home is where your heart is. Home is where you always are. Wherever you are, there I am. And so again, it's just to remind ourselves, a reminder for this one, a reminder for you who may find yourself listening to this and watching this, that the process is the point. It's the whole point of it. And that can be where the greatest frustration comes, but it is where the greatest gift and the greatest resiliency and the greatest gold for the soul. The soul's goal is to get the gold of getting through seemingly, you know, what's the word? Insurmountable challenges, moving through the grief, moving through the experiencing of a world that shows you such diverse and such duality, such light, such dark, such violence, such volatility, and such beauty, and such love, and such tenderness, and softness, and hardness, and the ability to be in that and know that it is all a reflection of self, the one self, the only self, the all that is, and not getting pulled into the divide and rule of picking sides, the divide and rule of right and wrong, and righteous and good and evil, all of these things. Being in that middle way, that space of nothing, while fully engaging and fully embodying as a being, a man, a woman, a child, a human, a woman, a being of light that allows the world to move through you, but never fully define you, only refine you into the core of your crystalline self, the core of the truth of who you are, the true core, the soul core, that divine essence, divine spark, that peace of you that is always at peace, P-I-E-C-E, always at P-E-A-C-E. So, this has been the spontaneous soul flow. I think the sound is working. We shall see. I don't know if the streaming has been working on the platforms, but it doesn't matter. It matters not. This is just a little flow to see where it goes. So, love to hear from you in the comments if this is actually working, and I've not just been sat here speaking to myself, because I think there's some online, but it's hard for me to see. And I've got like a little exclamation mark and red. You see all this stuff, this funny stuff that humans have invented, like, you know, Black Friday and whatever, all that stuff, all around this time. You feel this bombardment at this time, especially in the digital world, this bombardment of consume, get. Time is running out, act. It's funny, this psychological thing that humans create, but we're in that kind of field. And that is representative of, you know, this time that we're moving into. There is the expansion of dualities, which means we can go further into the light, further into the dark, but they're only momentary, looking there and looking there. Where are you looking from? Where is the hero and Shiro coming from? What they were looking for out there is where they were looking from, where they were searching. The place they were searching for was the place that they always were. So, just a reminder, if the challenges are being faced and you are facing challenges, just to know that they are the process, the perfection of the process, and they're the part that the soul glows with as you go through it. And the process is really the point of it, and that you are definitely never alone. And when we put the L of love into alone, we are all one. And the love was always in the middle of alone, we just forgot it. So this has been a spontaneous soul flow. Drop us a comment and let us know how you are being, and we will be back, let's say, more frequently, I feel, as we move through, as we remember that we, oh, our little friend has come back again. Come say hello. As we remember our remembering, as we recognize we've always been it, we've always had it, we are that, we are all that we seek. Oh, yes, come on, I want to get you on the camera. I thought it was a dragonfly at the start, but it's another little, you know, with these little things that when they fly, it just like they're just completely float. It looks completely effortless how they just like float. So yes, hope and trust that this has served you in some way, and I am happy to share and happy to be here on the earth with you in this tool we called time that we are still using, and very grateful to be alive, very grateful to have breath in my lungs, very grateful to spend time with two incredible angels, my two angels, who just are an endless gift to this one. And also from Conversations with God. I haven't read that for a long time, but there's a few of those pieces coming now. It's like one of the quotes, and that is, I have sent you nothing but angels. So remember, there's angels in disguise everywhere, and sometimes angels disguise themselves as demons. Sometimes angels disguise themselves as the most unexpected things. But I have sent you nothing but angels. Until next time, from my heart to yours, the divine in me sees, loves, and honors the divine in you. Namaste. We are